way you are.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's the time where God says, if you really want my promise, then you need to get set. If you really want my promise, you're going to have to sanctify. If you really want my promise, you're going to have to consecrate yourselves.
Amen.
If your situation didn't change from 2015 to 2016, it might be because you didn't change from 2015 to 2016. Joshua says, sanctify yourselves. The act of sanctification means that you take off some stuff that you've been having on. And I'm not just talking about making your skirt a little bit longer and loosen up your muscle man shirt and all. It's maybe part of that, but it doesn't stop there. Sanctification is like oh, glory to God. Have you ever seen one of those shows where somebody gets contaminated and they're really not sure if it's radiation contamination or this, that, or the other, and then they step into this area that is quarantined off, and then they I don't know if they blast them with air or whatever it is, but they do all of these things, and they take their clothes off, and they basically get rid of that, and whatever might have contaminated them, they get rid of all of that, and then they wash them clean.
Yeah.
It's not a bad place to start in the morning.
Amen.
It's not a bad place to go to sleep at night. God, I've been working all day. I've been around some people with language that I care not to use. And I've seen some things with my eyes I would have rather not seen. And then while I was watching TV, maybe I stayed on that one channel too long. And maybe, Lord, I don't know all that I heard. I don't know all that I said. I don't know all that I did or all that I thought. But before I lay my head down and go to sleep tonight, sanctify me.
Yes.
And then we wake up in the morning and we say, God, I don't remember half the dreams, but if any of those dreams weren't dreams that you sent through my mind, I ask that you sanctify them. Lord, don't allow anything from yesterday or even last night to contaminate me as I go forth in your will. Sanctify me. I'm on my mark. I got up at the right time, but now it's time to get set. And so we get in God's presence. Wow. To be in God's presence for more than asking for stuff. Lord, do this and give me this. But how about when we say, God, wash me clean.
Yes.
And I'll be whiter than snow.
Yes.
On your mark. Get set. Go. The officers had instructed the people, when you see the ark of the covenant of the Lord your God, and the priests, the Levites, bearing it, then you shall remove from your place and go after it. Within the ark of the covenant, there was an urn, and in the urn there was manna. There was Aaron's staff that had budded, and then there were the tablets of the commandments, the 10 commandments. The ark itself represented the presence of God's presence amid his people.
Yes.
And so basically what he's saying is when they saw the ark of the covenant of the Lord their God and the priests, the Levites bearing it, then they were literally to pull up their tent pegs and go after him. This imagery is awesome. You've been waiting on God. Now don't make God wait on you. Make sure that you are on your mark, you are set, and when it's time to go, that you go.
Yeah.
Keep your lamps trimmed and burning. Be alert. Keep your eyes open. And when you see God is on the move, pull up your tent pegs. No matter how long you've been where you are, no matter how long you've been where you are, when you see God is on the move, pull up your tent pegs.
Yes.
Well, God, I've been here for 20 years. I don't know if I could do anything different. Well, God, I've only been here for 1 year. When God said that it was time to, okay, look, time to close the church, and I got something else for you to do. People, what? How long you only been there for 5 years. Oh, I could tell the stories. But when God is on the move, it's not time for you to debate. It's not time for you to start to negotiate. It's time to pull up your tent pegs and start to move.
Yes.
No matter how long you've been in, no matter how comfortable you are. You going? No, I'm comfortable right here. I'm comfortable right where I am. You sure you don't want to? No, I'm good. I'm good. Just before the ceiling falls in on you, you know. It's just... It always amazes me, thank God, that usually people walk out when people are laying in their bed and a truck comes through their house or something. How comfortable must that have been? Or the stories that you said, I was just in that room. How many times has someone said, I was just in this situation, I was just there, I was just, and for some reason, I felt I needed to make a shift. And when I made the shift, I looked back and realized what could have been my last moments.
Yes.
When God is on the move, that is not the time to sit around and try to figure out stuff. That's the time to move. The whole generation before them, they got to the brink of the promised land, and only 2 people said, let's go.
Yes.
God's word is true. He's going to do this. Let's go. But the majority, the other 10 says, well, Brother Pastor Moses, I'm seeing that promised land is filled with giants and things. And so they died in the wilderness.
Yes.
No matter how tired you are, when God is on the move, move.
Yes.
I'm always talking to people, well, I think I'm going to rest. But I also found that when I want to rest, and for some reason, I trust God and get up and press my way, He never disappoints.
Yes.
He never, Pastor said in the office, he said this pretty much the same thing, that you're in that position where your body is not where you want it to be. You were up late last night, didn't get a lot of sleep, but there is energy, not just something that's floating in the air. There's divinely ordered, dunamis power when you come into the sanctuary.
Yes.
They that wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They will mount up with wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They'll walk and they won't faint. When we ignore those things that say, you can't do this, you shouldn't do this. You know, I know God is moving, but He'll come back. I know God is moving, but He'll move again. How hard it must be to put down tent pegs that won't budge. But then you got to pull them back up 3 days later and get ready to move. When you see the Ark of the Covenant and you see God on the move, get up and go after Him. In order for you to go after God, you've got to see God. Are you even looking? And if I'm not looking, God might move and I may not see Him moving. When you see the Ark of the Covenant on the shoulders of the priest, and then, I didn't see anything. Well, what were you drinking last night? Well, I didn't see anything. Well, what were you looking at? Well, that fine brother over there, he was looking fine, so I was looking at him. Well, what were you looking at? I was that sister. What were you looking at that you missed the move of God?
Yes.
Well, I was looking back at 2016, looking back at all the heartbreaks. I was looking back on all the people who did me wrong. I was looking back at all the closed doors and all the missed opportunities. I'm looking at that time when I fell and I sinned, and I was looking at that part where I got it right. And Paul says, "There's one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind. I press for the mark of going forward towards the mark of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus." What were you looking at that you didn't see the ark moving? I know there are some really bad things last year. There's some really amazing, awesome things last year. But don't get caught looking back when God is calling you to move forward. You got to see him when he's moving. When you see him, go for it. If you want this year to be better than last year, if you want to lay hold of God's promises for your life, get on your mark. Make sure you are where you're supposed to be. Get set. Sanctify yourself. Put away the gods of your forefathers and those who are in the land that you're dwelling in, and worship God alone. And then when you see God moving, doesn't matter when he moves, doesn't matter where he's moving to, when you see him moving, go after.
Yes.
Would you stand with me? We're going to pray.
Amen.